Since the beginnings of the forestry industry in BC, the regulations were weak at best, and sometimes not even existent. However, as time passed, more and more legislation was passed as BC's forests and diversity became much more of a priority. In the 1980s, major legislation was passed that put the responsibilities on the forestry companies to maintain the forest. This legislation was mainly focused around digitizing the logging companies' records, forcing companies to hire thousands of graduates of geospatial technologies. At the time, SFU and BCIT had large programs in that study, and this legislation was indirectly providing these intelligent folk with a chance to apply their education. I will speak to my mother, who is one of those students at BCIT's geospatial technologies program, more about the topic.
There was some legislation passed in the 80s, may have even been the 70s, that required forestry companies to do forestry management, forestry planning, and be accountable for the trees that they were taking down. I was a student at BCIT, so because of the changes to legislation, there were new programs and new technologies that had to be developed or utilized. I took Geographic Information Systems and was able to apply that by working at forestry companies. So one company in particular, the one that I worked for, was Genus RMT. So Canfor, which is one of the biggest forestry companies in BC, needed to implement new tools and new technologies. So as a result, they built a team to build that technology, and what they realized is that technology was resellable. There were also a number of companies like Timber West that was developed to provide consulting services and specialized in growing that technology.
These companies grew into developing a number of different industries because their services were needed there. The influx of high-tech jobs grew Prince George to new heights as a city. Prince George continues to grow today as the capital of northern BC, providing a central space for a number of different resource-rich industries to meet, including forestry. Forestry was in many ways the driving force that grew Prince George from town to city. Forestry was able to grow towns and provide a high-tech boom for a number of northern cities that have been lagging behind technology-wise for decades. Forestry will continue to live on today. With the regulations put on the industry, there is a major priority on management and understanding of the forest, allowing the forest to live strong while supporting the economics of BC.